Good afternoon. Welcome to the Economic Tourism and Cultural Development Committee meeting. I'm going to call to order. Sorry we're a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties, but we're online now. So call the meeting to order. Can I have approval of the agenda? And before I do that, I'm just going to ask the committee if we can move number 7 down to number 9 and move number 9 up to number 7. And that way, when we go into closed session, it'll be after our open agenda.
I'll move that.
Okay, moved by Councillor Evans, second by the Mayor. Thank you. So can we have approval of the agenda?
Moved.
Okay. Any declarations of conflict of interest?
None.
Seeing none, can I have approval of the minutes from December 10th, 2025?
Yes.
Moved.
Thank you. Any business arising from the minutes?
Nope.
Seeing none. The 26-27 annual estimates, it's an updated draft budget. So we've had this at the committee before, as you know, so I'm sure everybody's pretty familiar with it. We said we would bring it back. We knew we had a new initiative to talk about, and any updates or changes to the budget that may have been made since we last had it to our committee. So Wayne, do you want to take that and give a rundown, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. The information's in your package, and as you indicated, this particular item has been to the committee in the past with our first draft budget. We have made some minor amendments since that time, as more up-to-date information has become available. So today we're dealing with a budget of $3,540,228. This is $202,665 increase over the previous fiscal. Those.
So so it's 20,000 less than.
Yeah, I'll come back to that one minute, Councillor. Yeah. So currently it's $202,665 over last fiscal, and this is primarily attributed to things such as the city's largest civic celebration, Canada Day, ongoing strategic investments in event hosting and arts and cultural initiatives through strategies and policies as approved by council, and there's some salaries in there as well. So as you just indicated, Mr. Chair, this particular budget has actually reduced since we've been here last time by $25,500. So we've tightened up a little bit as a result of more definitive information.
Thank you for that.
Additionally, with today's budget, there's a new initiative related to consideration for an economic development officer position, and I'll speak to that in more detail in a moment. A reminder to the committee that a good portion of our budget is related to partnerships, agreements, salaries, and multi-year commitments already made by council. There's alignment with the many strategies that we operate with under our department and policies, as well as the city's overall strategic plan. I'll also mention that the tourism accommodation levy, although it's an in and out, is also accounted for in this particular budget. If you look at the summary page.
Sorry, Wayne. What did you say was in and out? The what?
The tourism accommodation levy.
Yes, yeah, thank you.
If you look at the summary budget page and go right to the bottom, you can get to the finer numbers. As I indicated, we have an increase this year, but I'll also draw your attention to the forecast as we move toward year end. These numbers are still fluctuating somewhat, but we have a bit of an elevated forecast in terms of where we are today, and we didn't really anticipate it to be at this amount. It's in and around the $133,000 range, but there's some direct reasons why we're there. We have had a vacant position in the department with the departure of a staff for half a year, so there's a savings of a half a year salary in there. We have an event reserve, as the committee is aware, of $50,000 to deal with those requests that come outside of the budget period. So there's some savings within that. We have not fully advanced our economic development strategy yet due to a number of pieces and our department realignment recently. And then there was an item in the budget last year under the tax initiative that mistakenly get put into the budget through the finance department. So all of that attributes to where we are in terms of the forecast. The other thing that I would draw your attention to is that the budget as a whole, for the most part, is status quo. Really, the movement is in the areas of event hosting, which we're in the game of event hosting. So that particular line item, as council knows, has an accordion effect. Some years it goes up, some years it comes down. And we also have moved more toward a streamlined process when it comes to event grants. As per council's direction last year, our department had a formal process, but we've really fine-tuned that to align with best practices as well as trends in municipal government across the country. So in the event side, we have 2 intakes throughout the year. On the culture side, we have 1. And alignment with both of those, obviously, align with our strategies and programs as well. So that's really where the movement is. Doug and Charlotte are here today if there's any specific questions within the particular areas of the budget that they oversee in conjunction with myself. And the other item I would mention is the new initiative, as I alluded to a few minutes ago. So we are looking to move forward consideration for a new position, Economic Development Officer. If you look around Atlantic Canada with respect to how economic development is conducted, most municipalities have arm's length organizations, agencies which have multi-staff complements and resources. Economic development, core economic development I'm speaking of here, so foreign direct investment or BR&E, business retention and expansion, takes a lot of work and a lot of effort. You're having a lot of meetings, so this year alone I've had over 100 meetings with other partners. There's a lot of work, heavy lifting that goes into needing to mine those relationships and try to pursue those opportunities. It's a long game which takes anywhere from 3 to 10 years in terms of attraction. There's some good things happening in Charlottetown, and Councillor Bernard has recognized those at recent council meetings with respect to data and Statistics Canada information. And this position would also help us really elevate startups with respect to entrepreneurs, trying to elevate those opportunities within our municipality. The core foundation for any destination when it comes to economic development should be trying to uplift your existing businesses, help them sustain and grow further. It's something that we don't have a lot of time to spend on currently because of staff complement. As well, if you look at our neighbors just up the road as a comparison in Summerside, they currently have 2 full-time economic development core staff and are potentially adding a 3rd. So it shows you in a smaller city the impact of economic development. So that's kind of a high-level highlight of where we are currently. The final thing I would add here is we want to do a better job of KPIing and metricing so council can have better informed information with respect to our efforts and how that's translating and how we're working hard toward that, and also will allow us for benchmarking as we look down the horizon as well.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. So Wayne, that new initiative, is the salary under our salary line now?
Mr. Chair, it is not. It's common practice that new initiatives would be presented to the committee but not included in the budget. It would be parked until it's such a time senior administration determines if it's advancing or not, and then the money would flow with it at that time.
Okay.
Okay, Terry.
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Mayor.
Councilor Bernard, yeah.
Yep.
Just page 7, under grants. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So, Wayne, I want to just deal with this first. Grants, 1,938,000 was last year for 25-26. This year you're budgeting 2,178,000. Where are you looking at I'm looking at our grants budget, economic tourism, and cultural development, and it has 3 categories. Event hosting grants, fees, memberships, grants, total. So if I add those three up, is that where I get my 2 million, or is there other areas that I have to look in the budget?
Go ahead, Wayne.
Through the chair, your worship, I'll start off and then I'll allow Charlotte to hop in as well here. But the 2 million that you're referencing is the tourism accommodation levy, I believe.
No, yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It
It
is.
is meeting expenses.
Yep.
Okay,
So tourism accommodation levy does not impact our event budget.
it's an in and
money
out.
In and out, correct.
okay. So let me go back up to business community development, 939,000 for this budget year. Last year it was 745,400 dollars.
Correct.
Okay, so does that cover in the addendum or the additional information that we received in last year's budget, economic, tourism, and cultural development, event hosting grant totals, fees and membership grants total? Is that where that falls under?
I'm pretty sure, your worship, I have a different document than you're looking at, I believe, but I would say that most of our event hosting and the community initiatives that you're talking about falls within that line item. It's condensed in the city budget book compared to the detailed budgets that we have in front of us. And it would have elevated this year as a result of success. So when we secure events, that budget would increase. Some years we don't have as much luck and it would decrease. The big factor this year would be the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, which carries in for us $125,000 hosting fee complement contribution, along with other funding partners having the same level of funding, and then some minor maintenance funding related to Scotties. So that's where the large increase would come in that line item.
Okay. Because if I look at page 8, fees and memberships, it has Charlottetown Islanders, 132,000. And last year it was a little higher. So, and then you get 55,000 for Eastlink. So that's under that area that I just pointed out on page 7, which is business community development. So, Mr. Chair, could you, through the chair to Wayne, could the members of the committee get a copy of what those events and business community development projects are? Could you email that out? Because in the past we didn't receive it.
Through the chair, your worship, there's a couple of components that goes with this line item. So in the document that you have today, there's hosting fees, which we already know what they are. But because we've moved to a new grant program, those particular events would not be available during the budget period, just the envelope of funding. We've been working over the past several months with our previous director, with the chair of the committee and the CAO's office with respect to overhauling grant programs. So on the tourism event, tourism event side, we would take 2 intakes of applications. One of them has recently closed, and Charlotte and team are evaluating those. And then there would be a second intake in the spring. On the cultural side, which is a different budget item, Doug would have 1 intake, although they relate to grants. So while the envelopes of funding are in here, we will not have the final details on who's receiving what amount until after the budget. We're aligning with what trends are across the country with municipal government and best practices, and this will create a better evaluation process and align more with operations within the municipality.
Yeah. Okay, just last question this, Mr. Chair. So if you put that amount in the budget for 26-27, $939,400 under business community development, then you must have an idea what you want to do. I think that's my question.
Yeah, just 1 second. So your worship, you recall that we had talked about having the different application dates, because sometimes when it closes, sometimes people are applying after the budget's passed, and we've already said when it's closed. So we've had a couple of different application dates. So the money's got to be in the budget for us to be able to give out to those applicants.
Yep, no, I understand that.
So Charlotte's going to explain a little better. Just 1 second.
Thank you, through the chair, your worship. In the package on page 11, you'll find a breakdown of that business/community development line item. It's called event hosting line, but that is the breakdown of the business and community development of 939,400 of what you'll find in there.
I see that. So we've already, that's what I'm trying to get to. Have we told these organizations that there would be funding going through if the budget is passed?
The hosting fees that are listed, yes, but you'll see the grants bucket of 300,000 that Wayne and Terry were referring to with the two intakes where we're reviewing the first intake of applications now, and then another one will come in April, and they'll be notified at that time.
And if I go back to page 7, so that's why the budget's at $939,000, correct? Because there could be applications that weren't approved on the development of this amount, and now you'd have the money in the budget. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and just a second question, Mr. Chair. Wayne, when you were taken on as manager, I thought one of your roles was economic development. I think that's what we were envisioning. Are you going to carry on that, or are you just going to hand this role over to the new initiative?
Through the chair, your worship, no, you're correct. One of my roles is economic development attraction. The economic development officer would mine the relationships and the files that have been brought back. It's too much work for one person. We don't have the resources. We don't have the staff. If you look around Atlantic Canada alone, there's several people in each city working on economic development files. So this individual would mine the files from attraction missions that I would bring home. This individual would work with local entrepreneurs with respect to scale up. This individual would work on BR&E, business retention and expansion of businesses, especially in and around the downtown core and beyond. So it's a support to the department. The current capacity that we have is overwhelming. If we're to continue on the same trajectory where we are today as a department, we just don't have the resources. At the end of the day, if there's not agreement or alignment from council, then we're going to have to review what our role actually is in economic development.
Yeah, but that's also working with our partners in Innovation Prince Edward Island, Global Affairs, DCI, like all these other organizations, collaborating to bring businesses to the city of Charlottetown, correct?
That is correct, your worship. Economic development is led by many organizations in this city, so it's all about partnerships. But currently, the city of Charlottetown is working collaboratively with Innovation PEI and the city of Summerside on FDI files. So this year alone, we would have had over 100 international meetings. The complexities of those meetings and mining those relationships and trying to secure business and bring them across the finish line takes a long game, A, and B, it takes a tremendous amount of effort. And currently, we don't have those resources internally. And because of that, and not having an additional staff at this point in time, other components of economic development that I just mentioned, BR&E, scaling up entrepreneurs, that typical economic development departments or agencies would do, is not being dealt with at the level it should be with a city of our size and the amount of effort that we're looking to bring forward to be successful.
Yeah. And Mr. Chair, just one last point on page 11, what Charlotte referred to, that's our 25-26 budget year. So we're showing the forecast of what was budgeted and what was spent. Hopefully we'll get a list similar to that for the 26-27 budget that shows us where we're budgeting and where the money's coming from, which would be general revenue. Thank you.
Is that the event hosting line you're talking about?
Yeah, there's event hosting, then there's, like I'm going through our budget for 25-26, the additional information that our former director of finance gave us that, you know, we took a number of meetings to get to.
Yeah.
I had that copy with me, but it does list some of the events that are not showing up here. But I think that's only the reason for that, because as Wayne said, we went through so many refinements of the grants that there's a lot of different information out there.
Okay, and we can get that.
Everything is
We can
consistent.
get that, no problem.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Councilor Ramsey, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Wayne, for that. Wayne, Charlottetown Islanders, is this the year the contract is being renewed?
Through the chair, Councillor Ramsey, correct, this is the final year, this fiscal, coming up, of the current contract that we have. And it would also be the Islanders' final year of the contract with Eastlink Center as well. So Eastlink Center will be renegotiating as well as the city.
Yeah, and just to follow up on that, if you don't mind,
Right here.
the training camp, which for years has been in Pownell and then at the APM Center in Charlottetown. Last year with our new facility at Simmons, they used that. Would that still be the same cost? Or, you know, like it almost shouldn't be because it's our new rink. They don't have to go to Pownell, they don't have to go to Cornwall. So I'm just saying 132,000, maybe that might be sort of looked at to be dropped a bit, right? I mean, for the training camp. Because you're only going across town right now. No, maybe that's something that has to be argued in the contract, I don't know.
I would, go ahead, Wayne.
Through the chair, Councillor Ramsey, so as a part of the contributions that the city gives to the Islanders is about $7,000 or in that range for the annual training camp. Those, even though they're at Simmons, those costs are still being incurred. The city of Charlottetown is charging them a rental fee to use that venue.
Thank you. Okay, any other questions?
Mr. Chair, the other thing I'd just add quickly is that we also have inbound grants that we receive. We don't know the total value of those yet, so we can't give definitive numbers, but we will get a contribution likely through Global Affairs of Canada and Can Export on the economic development side. Last year, we received something like $42,000. We'll also receive a federal contribution, hopefully through Celebrate Canada with respect to Canada Day for files that Charlotte manages. So there will be inbound contributions as well, and there could be other dollars available for specific reasons in terms of projects that we have and/or events. It just depends what's available.
And that was the same as last year?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so, so right now, I guess we'll have to get the agreement to send this to finance? Okay, so you want to move it? Your worship, you second that? Your worship?
Yep, green light.
Okay, thank you. All right, next, we're going to move to the resident survey. So it's under new business. We're trying to get a survey out to see if the residents of Charlottetown are interested in the city of Charlottetown looking at building a curling facility. So we've had good luck with the Grand Slam curling, and now we've landed the Scotties. Yeah, we don't have a curling facility. So one of the questions we would like to ask the residents of Charlottetown is this an interest that they would have that we pursue looking for a curling facility? So looking to do a survey. Personally, I kind of like to keep it to roughly 3 questions. And I'm going to ask for some input here. I'm going to read off the 5 questions that we have that could go into the survey. So I'd like to get some feedback from the committee. The first one would be, what are your thoughts on building a curling rink in Charlottetown? The second one would be, do you think a curling rink would meet the recreational needs of residents in Charlottetown? Why or why not? Third one, how important is access to a curling facility in the community in Charlottetown to you? What potential benefits or challenges do you see in developing a curling rink in Charlottetown? And would you support further exploration or research into the feasibility of a curling rink in Charlottetown? Kind of wouldn't mind
Who,
if we can narrow it down to 3 questions. Go ahead, your worship.
yeah, yeah, who put these questions together, Terry? Did the department, our department, or Parks Recreation?
I work
Can I-
with staff to come up with some possible questions that we could use.
Okay. You know, anytime you do a survey, it's the question you ask, and I'd like to find out if we could bounce this off someone else that would have an understanding of survey questions, but I know with the second or third question, when you say Charlottetown, I think we should be talking about Charlottetown and area or the capital area. Charlottetown and area. So we're talking about, a regional facility that will be encompassing for all the residents of the capital region.
Yeah, and I think for me, the question is, because who's going to pay for it? Be the residents of Charlottetown. To me, the question is to them.
Correct.
Would you like to see a curling rink in Charlottetown? It may end up becoming a regional facility, but the question right now I'm asking is the taxpayers.
Mr. Chair, if I can sort of interrupt here or jump in. It'll be under Parks and Recreation, which I am chair, so we're having a meeting on the 8th. Could we, and I agree with you on the council here, that we should have a survey out there, but could we bring that under Parks and Recreation also? At our next meeting, which you sit on also, and the mayor does too, and just see where we want to go with this, because there's a lot of things out there that's under this committee, under that committee. If it's ever built, or if we ever get the green light, it would be under Parks and Recreation. Am I correct with that?
If the residents come back and say that they're interested in it, then it would go to Parks and Recreation, because Parks and Rec would be responsible for building the facility.
But my question to you is, why is it under Economic Development right now?
Because economic development's role is to bring economic activity to the downtown. So
So,
we're asking the question, we're not building it.
no, I'm just asking the question. I'm just trying clarification, because the way I look at it is under Parks and Recreation.
And we talked to your Parks and Recreation staff, but I wasn't interested in waiting another month. So, to be quite honest with
You
you,
weren't what?
that's what I find the city of Charlottetown. We can sit around and talk about things for months, or we can get it done. We're asking for 3 questions to the residents of Charlottetown. Do you want to
And
currently?
I'm in agreement with the 3 questions, don't get me wrong. And I would love to see a survey out there.
Yep.
Because then the residents or the taxpayers are say, no, we can't afford it, or no, we should put the money here, or yes, let's go ahead with it. Like, I am in favor of that, but I just thought that it should go back to Parks and Recreation, like with our committee, which is gonna be next week, and then go from there. But anyway, we can just go ahead with it, whatever you want, your
Well,
worship.
we're looking for the proper questions that are out there. And I know our staff and I have talked to your staff at Parks and Recreation, and it just keeps getting put off, it keeps getting delayed, and people are out. So I just said, you know what? Let's just get it done. I want the questions out there. I want to know what the public is saying. I'm not interested in waiting. We've talked about a curling rink for years. Nothing ever gets done. So under economic development, that's why I mentioned the Grand Slam of curling, the Scotties. It's an economic development driver for our department. If the residents decide they want to, yes, they're interested in it, then it would go to Parks and Rec to do the rest of the work. So we're just trying to get a question out there, do they want it or not? So. I'm good with that. So back to your
Yes.
worship. So your worship, what are you thinking on as far as the questions?
The questions, look, we have to do the survey. I think the answer, Kevin's question, if we're going to build this, it's no longer an if, it's going to be when. And when's it going to happen? Is it going to be east of Charlottetown, west of Charlottetown, or is it going to be in Charlottetown? Where is it going to be built? I think this is a proactive movement, and we have to keep the ball moving. You brought it up at the last regular monthly meeting of council for February. So we're moving forward. And I just want to make sure that the questions that we are trying to ask, or that the questions we want to ask, they get to the point that, yes, it's clear. It's clear in these questions that there's a need, and how do we get there? And I think that, we look at Charlottetown, we should look at Charlottetown and area. So if you want to leave it out and just talk about Charlottetown, I think we should be looking at when you and I were on council back in 2002, when we went ahead with the Cary facility, Capital Area Recreation, Inc. Stratford came on board. They're still a partner. Cornwall never took that opportunity. But, we need to keep this moving. So 3 questions, get them out. Again, my preference is talking about Charlottetown and area. And on a question of procedure, does this have to go back to council to get its blessings, or can we do it just from a committee standpoint?
Yeah, and I'll ask the CAO that when he's back.
Yeah, well, we're heading to Ottawa. I'll be asking the same question, because you want to get this moving right away. As you said, all we do is talk about it, and then we come up with other ideas where to go with it, like down on the waterfront, out in Winslow. Like we have to find the synergies, and the synergy right now is that we have a facility that is the Simmons Aqua Arena facility. It'll be a good fit.
Yeah, so really our agenda is just trying to get the question out there as to the residents of Southend interested in it or not, because that's
Yeah.
the taxpayers will be paying for it, so.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll talk to, maybe we'll have the manager of our department talk to our,
CAO.
no, I'm thinking of comms, yeah, or communications
Good
people,
idea.
just to,
Yeah, just
their opinions on refining the questions that we want to ask.
yeah. Mr. Chair, I agree with you. I think we just keep kicking the can, pushing the rock down the road. We're not like let's stop talking and do some action. So yes, get this out as soon as possible. I'll mention to our CAO on the way to Ottawa what's going on, and maybe we can get a conversation with you tomorrow.
Okay, and we'll have our staff here talk to comms and
Yeah.
go over these 5 questions, see if they can.
Green light.
Okay,
Thank you.
everybody agreed? You want to move that?
Good.
Yeah, like,
move
as I stated earlier, Mr. Chair, I'm not against the questions, right? I just wondering, like, where the thing is falling under, and I'm in favor of sending out 3 questions.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
And Council Ramsey, it's going to go back to you anyways, your committee. Just as the Council Bernard said,
Yep.
this is to get it moving. If we move to construction, it falls into Parks, Recreation, Leisure.
That's correct, yeah. So I'm just looking for some authority to move this for our.
I move it.
So moved by
I move it.
Worship, second by Council Ramsey. Okay, thank you. All right,
Okay.
next agenda is moving into a closed session. It's a matter still under consideration on which the council has not yet publicly announced the decision and about which discussion in public would likely prejudice the municipality's ability to carry out its negotiations. It has to do with partnership negotiations. So if we can go into closed session, please.
Moved.
Moved. Second, Councilor Ramsey. Thank you. Okay, we're in the open session. Welcome again.
Am I still with you?
So business arising from the closed session? We,
Can you hear me?
yes, I can, yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, so we're back into open session, and business arising from the closed session. We're looking for a motion to move the negotiated partnership agreement to move on to council for consideration. I have a mover and a
Moved.
seconder. Moved by Council Ramsey,
Seconded.
second by His Worship, Mayor Philip Brown. Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn? I'll move it. Moved by Council
Moved.
Ramsey, second by His Worship. Thank you very much, and thank you for calling in, Your
Thank-
Worship.
Thank you very much. Take care.